People like to redefine it for yourself, thinking that maybe you don't know what you want to achieve. But being rooted in what you truly want and being aligned with what you truly want to achieve is very, very important.
Hello and welcome to Anchored Echoes, a brand new segment on Entrepreneur Middle East where we try to delve a little deeper into the intricacies of the entrepreneurial mindset. I'm your host Alia, and as always, I will begin with a disclaimer. This is not a podcast. The intention behind these episodes is for them to simply be short visual supplements to the stories I get to pen down on some of the most successful and established entrepreneurs in the UAE and the wider Middle East region. So as always, before you tune into the rest of the episode, please make sure you check out the link in the description below or above, depending on where you are watching this. Now, this is only my 6th time in front of the cameras hosting a show. But the individual I'm about to introduce you to has been doing this since the early 2000s, and she did it for 15 years on television, no less. As someone who used to tune into her show all those many years ago, it is very surreal to me that journey of hers led her into the world of entrepreneurship and today onto this show. So please join me in welcoming to Anchored Echoes, Uma Ghosh. Uma, thank you for being
Thank
on
you
my
for
show.
having me, but you're a pro, like without any teleprompter.
No.
It's amazing.
I was practicing in my car. Uma, thank you so much for being here. My first question to you, and I don't think it would be an understatement to say that you've been a pioneer in the world of creating high quality visual content, especially in the UAE and the wider region, at a time when, in the early 2000s, female-led production houses were scarce, to say the least. Now, navigating such untrodden paths is typical of entrepreneurship as well. So when it comes to navigating or tackling the risks and the uncertainties that come with such territory, what would you say are the top 3 things that entrepreneurs should keep intact or to remain anchored to their vision?
Well, very good question. Yes, as you said, I would like to believe that I pioneered the television industry, especially among South Asians in early 2000, and women-led production companies, I don't know any that were running at that time. So definitely an experience. 3 things that you've got to be anchored into when you are an entrepreneur is first, be very clear about your vision. If you don't have clarity in your vision, you can never create a strategy to reach that vision. So I think that is very important. Whenever you're vague as an entrepreneur, the path is going to be vague, and that's exactly what I tell the upcoming, women entrepreneurs, because it's very easy to lose your vision and then you want to do this and you want to do that, and that makes it even more challenging. So be very clear. And second is, be very clear what aligns with you, because a lot of people will come and a lot of things will be told to you, especially when you are a woman running a business. Why don't you do it this way? Maybe this is not the right thing to do. Maybe this is what you should want. So people like to redefine it for yourself, thinking that maybe you don't know what you want to achieve. But being rooted in what you truly want and being aligned with what you truly want to achieve is very, very important. And third thing, I know it's very cliche, but be ready to work hard. I think there is no option for that. There is, being an entrepreneur is a lot of hard work, and you do go through a lot of ups and downs. And of course, there are so many rewards, but it all comes after a journey of really putting in the work.
Very true. Now, my second question to you, and I feel like you are extremely well suited to answer this, and it is about the concept of when your work becomes your self-image. Now, if you hop on to LinkedIn today or any business portal or website, there will be at least 4 or 5 posts or articles talking about the importance of personal branding. And it has gotten to the extent that they now say CEOs and other C-suite executives also should try and become the face of the brand. And they have their reasons for it, but mostly they say, it's an asset. But I want to gain your thoughts on this, on what it is like to when the brand becomes you, And I ask this because there's a very fine line to tread between seeking authenticity and seeking fame. So how can one tread that carefully?
It's again a very good question, and I feel like I've been on both the sides. When I was doing television, and as I said when I was, in the written interview, is what really took me towards a burnout is that I loved doing what I was doing. I loved creating content. I loved getting stories in front of a wider audience. What I did not like is just being this perfect image all the time, perfectly dressed, perfect looking, perfect skin, perfect hair. That really took a toll on me, and that was not being authentic to myself. And that's why I definitely became a brand of my own, but I wasn't very rooted into who I was. On that really took a toll on me because of that. So, and now when I'm doing something more holistic, well-being and wellness, I have made sure that I align it with who I am. Most of my videos you see on YouTube as well as on Instagram are without makeup. I make sure I come there as who I am, because that's who I am. I'm not putting on makeup every single day or looking a certain way. I am the way I am, and I love to be a personal brand representing myself in the truest, authentic way. But when you have two images, that you have one for yourself and one for a public image, it's exhausting, to say the least. Yeah, it's exhausting. So many people manage it, but then I feel like it doesn't have a very long journey, because at some point you will have, you will break.
Very true. Now, final question, and this has again to do with something entrepreneurs and startup founders struggle with, but it's often silent. And it is the issue of self-inhibiting doubts and self-inhibiting thoughts, mostly imposter syndrome. Now, this actually ties in quite neatly with the topic we've just discussed about, personal branding and seeking perfection all the time. We now live in a time where whether you look up your LinkedIn feed or walk into a networking session, everyone claims to be the best at what they do. And that is a conversation to be had separately and not for this episode, unfortunately. But when we're living in a space like that, in a time like that, how can entrepreneurs, startup founders, or just anyone in the wider business landscape remain confident in themselves and their expertise and their talent, while also being open to, say, self-improvement and feedback? And I want to gain your as someone, you're someone who advocates for people to be well informed about their health and wellness. So how much does that tie in to the concept of to the quality of our self-talk?
Well, it's a very important journey that we go through, not just as an entrepreneur, as human beings. In anything that we are doing, we constantly have that person talking to us, and most of the time, you'll be amazed that it's negative. 75% of the time, and this is the exercise that I love to do with my students, is write down the narrative you have about yourself, and you'll be surprised how much of it is negative. So every time we start something new, of course, the first, voice is you're not good at it, or maybe you're just, trying to do something, trying to learn something that will not take you anywhere in all of these talks. And I was a person who who believed in fake it till you have it. Now I obviously, have had a journey, and I feel seek it till you have it. You have to seek the knowledge of everything that you want to do. So you can be, I'm good at what I do right now and I believe in it, but there are many more things that I can learn, and I'm seeking it to go to another level. So, and that journey of being open to learning, as a teacher, as I always say, I'm an eternal student. If I'm not open to learning, then I will never be able to deliver what I want to deliver to my students as a teacher, as a mentor. So I feel no matter what story is going on in your head, believe in yourself wherever you are at, right? Because that's where you're starting the journey from. You cannot be overnight somewhere else. There is no success that is overnight success, right? And so seek it and, take each day as it comes. And you will, if you're seeking it, you're learning it, you're putting in the effort, you will get better at what you do in the times to come.
What a lovely note to end the episode on. Thank you so much, Uma, for being on the show. I feel like the quality of Anchored Echoes has been elevated today with your presence. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in. If you are watching this episode, if this has made it to your feeds, it means that the written feature on Uma and her entrepreneurial journey has made it to Entrepreneur Middle East websites and our magazines as well. So please do make sure you check out the link in the caption to read that feature. And as I always say, Anchored Echoes is not meant to last more than a few minutes, but we hope they bring you inspiration that lasts, which is also why that's the tagline of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.